I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, the place where y'all come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and just an overall positive word. Today's message, man, just comes from a conversation that I was having with one of my homeboys. We were just sitting down talking, about like everything that we've been going through lately. And because so many people around me have just been going through stuff, I don't know what it has been about these past, I want to say like 2 months, but just everybody around me, just kind of been going through things. And like I've said before, I'm one of those friends that everybody just knows that they can lean on, just to talk to, just to have conversation, get some advice from time to time if they want it, you know, because I'm not going to judge whatever it is that you talk about is what you talk about. So a lot of people have just been going through stuff with like deaths, losing people, finding out things about people that they, weren't expecting, betrayals, all of this stuff. So everybody just kind of been going through things. And so me and my homeboy were just kind of talking, and he was just like, man, I'm so ready for these tough times to be over with. And, my old response would have been like, man, I feel you, me too. But I mean, now my response was, man, I hope I figure out this lesson before then. And he was just kind of looking at me, looking at me crazy. It's like, what you mean? I hope you find the lesson. I was like, whatever it is that I'm going through, I hope that I figure out whatever lesson I need to learn before it's over. And he was just like, he was like, but whatever you're going through isn't your fault. Like, what if it's not your fault? And I was like, even if it's not your fault, like finding lessons, it's not about fault. It's just about, for me, the way I look at it, it's not about fault. It's just about finding whatever, there's a lesson in everything that you go through. Even if somebody else causes it, I always ask myself, was there anything that I could have done to help prevent this or to help make it not as bad as it was? There's always something to learn, because even if it was somebody else's fault that I'm going through, whatever it is that I'm getting ready to go through or going through, were there signs? Um, were there conversations that probably should have been had that didn't happen? Um, was there anything that I could have done to help? You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I'm talking about. There's always lessons in everything, every bad, good situation, your hard times, whatever, there's a lesson in there. So we just kind of got to going about that and just talking about that, because I was like, how many times have you gone through the same thing with, in his case, would probably be like his relationship. How many times have you gone through so many similar things in your relationship? And when he started thinking about it, was like, it's been a bunch of times. And I'm like, okay, now when you stop and think about it, ask yourself, why do you keep going through the same thing with different people? You get to thinking, and it's like, maybe it's because you haven't learned the lesson. So you keep falling into the same trap. You haven't realized that, hey, I need to figure this out, or there's something about the people that I'm attracted to, or the people that I'm attracting, that I need to figure out. I need to reassess things. I need to figure out what's going on. Why am I attracted to this, or why am I attracting this? You know what I'm saying? And figure those things out. You know what I'm saying? That way you can finally move on. You don't have to keep taking the same test over and over again. You've learned that lesson, and now you can pass that test because you can see whatever it is that, you know, was attracting those people, or was attracting you to those people. You know that now, and now you can start to fix that. But it's harder again when whatever you're going through was caused by someone else. But even then, there could be a lesson in that, and that lesson could be, hey, maybe I need to stop being around this person, or hey, this person was showing signs of something, and I just let it go. I didn't say anything. Whatever the case may be, there's a lesson in it all, man. And I think, and we were just kind of going back and forth, and I was just telling him, like, we gotta go through these tough times to appreciate the good times, because when life is good, we're always, if you don't go through those tough times, when life does finally get to a good point and things are going well and you're doing well, man, you won't appreciate them as much. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is sometimes when life is going good, we'll always find things to complain about. We'll always find things to get frustrated and mad about. And when we really should just be sitting back like, man, I went through that. Look where I am now. Like, yes, life is not perfect. I don't think life will ever be perfect where you have nothing wrong. But at least you can sit back and you can say, man, I remember when I was struggling. Or man, I remember when I was going through this and I was dreaming about getting to this point. I would daydream. I would fall asleep dreaming. I would always constantly think about getting to this point. And now that I'm here, because you went through those hard times, you can appreciate where you are. But if you don't go through those hard times and you get to a point to where you really don't have no major issues, like granted, like I said, life isn't perfect. So there are things that you could be doing, but it's nothing to just sit there and stop your whole day just to complain. It's not to that type of level. You know what I'm saying? Bills are paid. You got a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food in your stomach. You got money coming in. You know what I'm saying? So, all your essential stuff is taken care of. Family's good. Your health is good. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it may not be perfect, but it's far better than most people's situations. And if you've never gone through hard times, you don't even know how good you have it when you're in that space, because you haven't gone through those hard times. Now, when you go through those hard times, and that's not to say when you go through hard times you don't complain, but when you go through hard times and you start complaining, you can snap back real quick, because you'll always have that memory of how it used to be. And you can be like, man, you know what? Let me stop complaining, because I could be where I was a few months ago or whatever, a few years ago. And that's why when you hear stories like about homeless people who are so thankful for their little 1 bedroom apartment, or who are so thankful for their job at McDonald's, or they're so thankful for the small things, is because they know what it's like to not have. They've learned that they felt that pain. They've learned that lesson. So McDonald's looks like heaven to them. McDonald's looks like, you know what I'm saying, a Fortune 500 company. You know what I'm saying? They on top of the world. That little 1 bedroom, or you know what I'm saying, the little small apartment that they have is theirs. You know what I'm saying? They have a place where they have a door, they have privacy, they have indoor plumbing. You know what I'm saying? They have so many things that they appreciate because they went without it for however long that they had to go without it. So now they appreciate those little things that you'll take for granted if you never had to go without it. You know what I'm saying? So a place where they can go and be sheltered from the rain, sheltered from the summer heat, sheltered from the cold. You know what I'm saying? They appreciate those things. So even when you go, if you was to go to their apartment, you'd be like, man, you so proud of this place. It's so small, but it's theirs, and and it's way more than what they had at one point in time. So, that's like the analogy that I use to kind of get, my friend to understand my way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I want to learn these lessons so that way the next time something like that rolls around, I can do my best to avoid it. I can do my best to get myself out of that situation. I can do my best to help the situation not happen at all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always trying to learn, learn the lesson in the hard times. And it is not always easy, because again, like I've said, you know what I'm saying, not I haven't been so open minded. I haven't been so positive thinking. I haven't been so optimistic, my whole life. I've always focused on the negative. I've always gotten caught up in the negative. And that's one of the things that I want to work on while I'm going through therapy, is learning how not to lock in on the negative, because that's been me for most of my life. As soon as something new happens, or a new challenge, or a new opportunity, whatever it is, it could be something good, it could be something bad. But if it's change, I'm gonna see some opportunities. I might see some positive, but the moment that I see one negative, or I think about one negative potential that there might be there, my head now locks in on the negativity. It's like I don't even focus on the positive things anymore. It's like I lock in on the negative. So I'm not saying that it's an easy process, but it's something that I try to push myself to think about when I'm going through the tough times. Like I say, it's just like learning the lesson. That's why, I talk about it so much, with my friends, and I talk about it so much with just the people around me, anybody willing to listen, random coworkers, whatever, whenever we have conversations, when we get to talking about like tough times and how hard things are, and life ain't going the way you want it to, or something big just happened that turned your life upside down, in a negative way, whatever it is, and we have those conversations. I always try to talk to them about finding those lessons, finding the positive in every situation, in every scenario, because there's always something to be learned. There's always something positive that can come out of every situation. It's just all about how we view things. You know what I'm saying? So many times we come from that viewpoint, especially if it's something that's negative happening around us or something negative happening to us. We always want to look through that negative lens. And sometimes we got to change our perspective and look at things from a different angle to see the beauty that might come out of it, to see the positive that might come out of it, to see the good relationships or the good bonds that could be made in these bad situations. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely work, right? Because the easiest thing to do when we going through something negative is just to sit there and complain and gripe and be mad at the world because things aren't going the way we want them to, especially if it's something that wasn't caused by us. You know what I'm saying? It's happening to us, but it wasn't caused by us. Somebody else caused it, but it's affecting us. So the easiest thing to do is just to sit there and to be negative and be angry and to gripe and complain, excuse me, and to be frustrated with people. But I think the better thing to do, the more productive thing to do, is to try to find those silver linings, try to find those positive things, try to find those lessons, you know what I'm saying? So that way, the next time it happens, because there will be a next time, or the next time it might happen or potentially happen, you can see it ahead of time and you can stop it, or you can, figure out how to maneuver, or you'll know how to maneuver because you've learned the lesson. You didn't spend the entire time complaining and being frustrated. You actually took time to assess the situation, figure out what was going on, figure out how it started, why it started, what can help, what what I'm saying, what you can do next time around to help yourself get out of that situation or just stay out of that situation. And so for me, I think that learning the lesson is just as important, or probably the most important thing, when you're going through the hard times, man. And so I'm slowly starting to shift my mindset so that way when I'm going through hard times, I'm always looking for the lesson. I'm always looking for what I can take from this. I'm looking for how can I get better from this. You know what I'm saying? I'm always looking to grow and to get better and to take that next step. I don't care how big the step is. I don't care how small the step is. As long as I'm taking a step in the right direction, then that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those things that'll help me in the future, because I know hard times are never going to stop. Right? I don't care how successful I become, how much money that I get, how popular I may become. Hard times won't stop. The hard times are going to continue to come. Like the hard times are going to come with money. The hard times are going to come with success. The hard times are going to come with popularity. The hard times are going to come with everything that I'm looking to get out of life. Hard times are going to be attached to all of that stuff. Hard times are going to come with, finding, my person, starting a family, building, as people like to say, generational wealth. Hard times are going to come with everything in life. You might as well just say life period comes with hard times. Like they go with each other. You know what I'm saying? You going to have both. When you're living life, you're going to have hard times. So for me, it's now, let me not say always. Now it's about trying to build through these hard times, how to get better and improve through these hard times, and just finding what's causing the hard times and what I can do to prevent as many hard times, or prevent me staying in these hard times as long as I have been before, because I've just been so negative and hard headed, you know what I'm saying? Not seeing the lesson, not even trying to see the lesson, not trying to figure out why do I keep going through these things, just going through them and being mad at everybody because I'm continuing to go through them and not realizing that if I change my behavior, if I change, there were certain things that I could have been doing to get me out of those hard times, like to even prevent some of those hard times, you know. But I can't change the past. The only thing I can do is learn from it. And, you know, one, like I said, the thing that I'm learning from my past specifically is that there's a lesson in, you know, whatever it is that you're going through. And I know that certain things, you know, we don't want to think about, how can I put this? Sometimes we go through things that feel so devastating and feel so crushing and feel so defeating that we don't think that there's anything positive to get out of that. Like like death, you know what I'm saying? You don't really see any positive in death and things like that. And what I try to get people, because again, like I said, it's just been a long 2 months for a lot of people around me. And so what I try to get people to understand is like, man, just enjoy those people. I think the one thing that you can learn from death is tomorrow isn't promised. So go love on that family member or that friend. Go hug them. Tell them that you love them, appreciate them, thank them, give them their flowers, spend as much time with them. And if you can't get to them physically, spend as much time on the phone, plan some trips, do what you can, man, because tomorrow isn't promised. So that's the one thing that I can say you can learn from death is that, man, life is short. You know what I'm saying? And like I've said before, some lessons we gotta learn the hard way, some lessons we gotta feel before we truly understand. And I think that once you experience losing somebody close to you, and I'm not saying it should take that, but then you really start to understand the weight of those words of life is short. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people really understand the weight until it hits close to home or it hits them at least close enough to where it's like, man. And I think that that's one lesson that you can always take from is like, man, if you beefing with somebody and you know something that can be fixed and you just being petty and don't want to fix it, go fix it. You know what I'm saying? If you honestly feel like it can't be fixed, hey, then okay. But if it's something that you know it can be fixed, you just being petty, waiting on them to make the first move because you don't want to make the first move because you don't want to be looked at as soft or whatever, man, tomorrow ain't promising. You may never get that opportunity to speak to that person again. So if it's something, if it's a relationship worth healing, a relationship worth fixing, go fix that relationship and enjoy each other, man. Enjoy life. You know, stop sitting here complaining about things that happened 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago that is over and done with. You know, it's time to start moving forward, forgiving people, letting stuff go, living your life. You know, it's time to start breaking these chains from that you've been holding on to and these cages that you've locked yourself in because of your pain, your past and the things that you've been through. It's like, man, we don't have a lot of time on this earth. So enjoy the time that you have. Stop allowing the pain from the past to hold you in place. You know what I'm saying? You've been in this place for too many years. Like it's time to start healing and letting stuff go. It's time to start breaking those chains. And so that's the thing that I'm doing right now. That's the space that I'm in, man, is I'm doing my best to break these chains from my past and the pain that, you know, people have caused me. I've caused other people, you know, all of that. I'm trying to break all of those chains and I'm trying to remove all these cages from my life so that I can finally just start walking freely in my purpose. But, you know, it takes time. It takes energy, it takes intention, you know, to want to do these things. Like it's easy to talk that talk, but it takes, you know what I'm saying, real intention to get up and walk that walk, to get up and actively start forgiving people, to actively start forgiving yourself, which I didn't even realize was such a hard thing to do until, you know, these past couple of months have shown me how hard it is to forgive yourself when you've wronged people or when you've hurt people. But it's just as important to forgive yourself as it is to forgive people who've hurt you. But I'm doing my work. I'm intentional on doing the work that it takes to start healing, because I realize that I've put myself in a box, you know what I'm saying? And I've put so many chains on that box. And now that box is what I thought was my protection is really just like, it's been my coffin. And you know what I'm saying, it's become so suffocating because I have no room, I have no, you know what I'm saying, no air to breathe. So you know, I'm slowly but surely starting to remove those chains. I'm starting to let go of things. I'm starting to forgive people. I'm starting to get people, you know, remove people out of my life. And I'm hopefully, you know, I'm start doing better to bring the right people in or better people in and things like that. So, you know, I'm slowly but surely taking those steps. But even to get to this point of where, you know, I am today, I had to go through tough times. I had to go through losing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't say everything, but I had to lose a lot to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through a lot to get to this point, and I was still going through it because I wasn't learning the lesson. You know what I'm saying? And once I finally started to learn the lesson, the whatever lesson God was trying to teach me, I finally started to learn it. And you know, and now I'm looking to heal, and I'm looking to process a lot of the stuff that's happened to me, a lot of the things that I've done, to process a lot of the things that I've done to other people. You know what I'm saying? And understanding that, you know, I was the cause for a lot of the things that I went through, you know. And now that I'm starting to accept that, I'm starting to accept that my behavior, I betrayed myself. I let myself down. You know, I'm not where I want to be in life. And I could sit here and I could put blame on a bunch of people, but it all falls at my feet, because at the end of the day, I made those decisions. I chose to go down those roads that I chose to go down, and to make those decisions that I made, and to do the things that I chose to do. It was me. You know what I'm saying? I can sit here and blame peer pressure and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, I made those choices. I did those things. I made those moves. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take accountability for the things that I did, and the situations that I put myself in, or the situations that I missed out on, opportunities that I missed out on because of my actions, or because of my lack of desire, because of whatever it was that caused it. That's on me. I did those things. And so now that I've started to take accountability and responsibility, it's started to lift a few of those things, a few of those burdens, a few of those chains up off me. So, you know, it feels it feels good, you know what I'm saying, now. Like in a like, you know, I'm not saying I didn't have my moments where I could have fallen back into like a depression, because it's tough to look in the mirror and realize, man, and I mean really realize, not just saying it, but genuinely seeing like, man, I'm the cause of a lot of my issues. I let myself down. I let my younger self down, my younger self who may have had ambitions of doing this and doing that. But because of the decisions that I made, you know, life didn't go the way I wanted it to. And I'm not where I want to be. But the thing that I'm learning is, it's never too late to find your purpose. It's never too late to find your walk, your path that you're meant to be on. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what you're meant to be doing? Who knows what your purpose is? Who knows where your journey is going to lead you? And you may have needed to go off on that unpaved path. You probably needed to go off on that unbeaten path and venture out there, because you don't know who's coming behind you, who might look up to you. And you know what I'm saying, they might venture off that way too. And at least since you went through that, you can at least be a guide to them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know who I will inspire going forward. I don't know who will look up to me going forward. But one thing that I want to say to those people, and just anyone listening, it's never too late to find yourself. It's never too late to do the right thing, to get back on the right path. It's never too late to forgive yourself, to forgive others, to let go of the past and move forward. I don't care how long you've been stuck in that place of hurt. It's never too late to say, you know what, you've had enough. You're ready to move forward. I don't care how long you've been moving backwards or you've been holding on to that anger, that grudge. It's never too late. You can start today if you really want it, but you have to want it because it's not going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be easy letting go. It's not going to be easy forgiving people. It's not going to be easy asking other people for forgiveness because you don't know what they've been holding on to. You don't know what they've been dealing with. So when you go to ask people, sometimes you're going to have those uncomfortable conversations, and it's going to bring out a lot, a lot of negativity. It might bring out some positive things. You never know, but as long as you're going in with real, true intentions of trying to heal and get out of that place, you'll be able to deal with it. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but I'm saying you can do it as long as you're going in with the right intentions and the right purpose for what you really want out of life. Because, like I've said before, anything worth having is worth fighting for. So if you want that peace, you got to go fight for it. If you want that happiness, you got to go fight for it. If you want to let go of this past or you want to get out of that place of hurt, you got to go fight for it. You got to climb yourself out that hole that you put yourself in. Like, you got to go get it. You know what I'm saying? And so it ain't going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. But it's up to you to go put the work in. It's up to you to go have those conversations. It's up to you to, do the things that you need to do. And maybe you don't know, but once you find out, it's up to you to go do those things and to go through those processes to heal and to move forward and to forgive yourself and to forgive others and and ask for forgiveness from others. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you, but it's all about intentions. You know what I'm saying? We can talk. I can talk about whatever. Anybody can talk about whatever. We can talk about getting better. We can talk about healing. We can talk about therapy. We can talk about all this stuff. But if you're not doing the work and you're not going in with the right intentions, then all you're doing is spinning your wheels and wasting your time. Because after all of that, you'll probably end up in the same place that you were in because, talk is cheap. Anybody can talk, but you got to go out there and prove it with your actions. But like I said, this work ain't easy. This path ain't easy. That path back to where you need to be, or the path to your purpose, or the path to whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's not easy. And you know what I'm saying? That path will chew you up and spit you out. You know what I'm saying? If you're not ready for it, if you're not going in with the right intentions and you're not ready to work and you're not ready to sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? This path you'll find out real quick. This path is going to show you how ready you are. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like I said, it's going to bring up a lot of old emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you're trying to get out of that place of hurt that you've been in for a long time, at some point you gotta quit running from it and you gotta face it. Whatever it may be that's causing you this pain, whoever caused it, whatever the situation was that caused it, at some point you gotta face it. You can't keep running from it. If you want to get past it, you gotta go through it. And so that's not an easy thing. So I know I'm saying it very lightly, but I also just want to make sure that I say that it's not an easy thing to do. And I know it sounds like I'm saying it lightly, but I'm also making sure to say, hey, do it when you're ready. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want you to fall deeper into your depression or deeper into that hurt by trying to face it before you're ready. Face it when you're ready. And more importantly, make sure that you have a good support system around you, because you don't know what emotions may bring out of you, and what it might trigger in you, or how you may respond to this stuff. So man, make sure that you got a good support system around you, a good group of people who will help you through this and guide you through this. Because I'm not saying it's something you can't do alone, but I'm just saying I wouldn't recommend it, because it's a lot of emotion and it can be very draining and very consuming. And I know and let me not say I know. I've experienced how quick depression can grab a hold of you, and how deep that hold and how strong that hold can become. So if you're not someone who knows for sure with 100% certainty that you can snap yourself out of the depression by yourself, I would not recommend going through this process by yourself. Go get those people that you need, that you can trust, that you can lean on through these tough times, who can be there for you while you going through it, who can help lift you up, help pick you up, help snap you out of, potential depression and things like that, man. But make sure you got a good team, a good group of people around you when you get ready to go through this process. So I don't want to make it seem, I don't want to talk about this very lightly. I want to make sure I give it the what's the word that I'm looking for? I don't know the word that I'm looking for, but I just want to make sure that you understand the gravity of, this journey that you're potentially getting ready to go on. A lot of old feelings, a lot of old emotions, a lot of things that you may have even thought that you were past and that you've healed from. You'll realize real quick that no, I haven't healed from this. I just let enough time pass by to where it doesn't hurt anymore. I don't think about it anymore. So man, it's a lot of uncovering of emotions that go on. But like I say, man, just have the right team around you, right group around you. And man, just learn. And the overall message is just learn from these hard times and these tough times and start to heal from these, places where we were broken, where we were hurt. And we get stuck in those places, or at least pieces of us get stuck in those places. And, and enough pieces get left behind that there ain't really a lot left. So now you got to backtrack and you got to go back to these places where you were hurt and you were broken and you were, and you know what I'm saying? And you left a little piece of you in those moments and in those times, you know what I'm saying? So now you got to go back and you got to go pick up those pieces. And that's a very, tough journey to start. And it's gonna be a tough journey to go through. But I know that once you get through it all, at some point, whenever you get through it, it'll be worth it because you'll feel whole again, and you'll be able to let go of those hurt places, and you'll be able to pick up those pieces that were chipped off during those times, man. But I say all of that to say, don't fear the tough times, because the tough times are going to come with everything. Every step of success, every step up the ladder that you take is going to come with new tough times. It's going to come with good and bad, so just embrace the tough times, learn from them, grow from them, get better. And that way you don't have to stay in them as long, and you don't have to go through as many tough times, is because you're learning. So learn through those tough times, and man, start going on your journeys to help heal yourself and pick up those pieces and get out of those tough places and start breaking those chains, man. That's what we doing this season. We definitely breaking chains, man. So I want to say thank you to everybody listening on whatever platforms you're listening on, and to anybody watching on YouTube. I thank y'all for taking the time to watch. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I want to continue growing. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. Love y'all, and I hope that y'all have a blessed day and a blessed week.